we are. Hey, Randy. Hey, Gary.
I don't show it on mine.
It will be. 1 second.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, TNME TV.
Hey, Randy and Gary. Hey, Tommy and Teresa. It says, hey, Randy, where are they?
There we are.
Hey, Jeff and Tootsie. How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah, I just got your message there, Jeff. You said, wake up, it's time to roll.
Wake up.
Oh
man.
my. Yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good evening.
Hey, David Perkins, hello. Gary says, go ahead and start the trivia so there will be less competition.
We're going to wait a little bit. Let the games begin.
Jeff and Tootsie says, Price is Right at Night is on again tonight.
Oh, of course. Hey, don't you know?
Hey.
Nathan Raid. Nathan.
Rita.
Okay.
Sorry for saying that your name wrong.
William Smith, here and cold. Ooh.
Randy says, not much, just working security.
Ah.
Hey, Clock Family Adventures, hello. TME says, hi, all friends. Gary says, cool, I'm at work as well. William Smith says, I got to go to bed early.
Oh, my.
Randy says, I sent Fred a text telling him to wake up. Yeah, he got it.
I got the message. I'm awake. I got questions.
Jeff says, hello to Gary. William Smith says, hello to Jeff.
We'll wait another minute and then we'll get these trivia questions going here.
Yeah, tonight is muscle car trivia. Don't you know it says boomers? Hey, Missy.
Hey.
How's it going? Teen Meat says, almost bought a Corvette yesterday, then I came to my senses. Teresa was relieved. Yeah, there goes the retirement, right?
Oh, my.
As they always say, if you spend all your retirement, you have to eat Alpo for your retirement, right? Who wants to do that?
Yeah, no boomers option tonight. That will be, we'll probably do that again next week. We'll see.
Gary says, I don't think it will be boomers option tonight. William Smith says, haha, Tommy. Randy says, hey there, TME. Been missing y'all.
Yeah, they were on Monday night.
Jeff and Tootsie says, dang, did you not get the vet? Let me guess, was it a red one?
It probably screamed, police.
Missy says hello to us.
Hello.
Gary says, I will go ahead and apologize before we start. There is a possibility that I will make somebody mad.
Just don't repeat all the answers, Gary. That'll make it easy. Hey, GWT 181.
Hey.
Welcome. Haven't seen you in a bit. So, based on the thumbnail that I had for tonight's live, yeah, not Kathy Ireland topic tonight. No. Based on the thumbnail I had, the trivia tonight is based on 4 specific muscle cars. That is Camaro, Chevelle, Mustang, and GTO.
Randy says, anybody going to be in Pigeon Forge March 10th and 11th? Jeff and Tootsie says, woman just hit it for $25K just now.
Wow.
TME says, that was a no-go. Rather not live on Beanie Weenie. Or live on Beanie Weenies. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
John Esper says hello to everybody in chat from Columbus, Ohio. Hit those thumbs up.
Thank you, John.
Hope you're doing well tonight, John.
There's Paul.
Gary says, I saw a GTO on there.
Yep.
Hey, Clock Family Adventures.
Hey, Paul, cleaning and listening. Welcome.
GWT says usually missing stuff on Wednesdays.
All right. Well.
All right, we'll get started.
We're gonna get started
22
here.
in the-
Yeah. So I've got 4 different groups of questions. One for Camaros, one for Chevelles, one for Mustangs, and one for GTO. So I'm going to start with GTO since the inspiration of tonight's live stream trivia. Hey, Gary with 2 R's, welcome. Hey, Dry Creek, welcome. Was from Belt Loop.
Gary says first one shown if you're looking left to right
Yep.
on the thumbnail.
It's the GTO.
Paul says the older the GTO, the better. Randy says, I think there's an echo.
Oh, no.
Anybody else hear that echo?
Yeah, is anybody hearing an echo or not? So if there's an echo, let me adjust the gain a little bit. No echo, William Smith.
Oh. Hey, Devil Dog.
I thought I saw an oorah.
Missy says no. Randy says it's kind of like a Japanese TV show.
Oh.
Oh, my.
I did.
Jeff and Tootsie says no echo, just a little muffled.
A little muffled.
Randy said that was better now. Gary says 64 has the sideways headlights.
Let me go up a tad bit more. There we go. All right.
GWT says, but I'm not too good of hearing, LOL.
All right. Now, all of these questions are multiple choice, and there's 3 choices for each question. The first one being, it's going to be from a GTO. How many GTOs were sold in 1964? A, 32,450. B, 37,411. Or C, 45,147. And do not use Google to search your answer.
Hey, Captain Billy.
Hey, Captain Billy, welcome. The captain's here.
Gary says, sup, Devil Dog, you probably shouldn't try tonight. It's muscle car trivia.
Hey, he may get something right, so.
Paul says B. William says B. Jeff and Tootsie C. GWT B. T and me says A. Don't you know says B. Missy Brock C. Gary B.
So the correct answer on that one is B. 37,411.
All right, we got a lot of B's in there.
Good job, people. So I'm just going to be shifting around different ones, so.
Devil Dog says, oorah, Gary, I can't anyway. I have to try and get some things done.
Well, that's fine. Thanks for coming in, at least.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Next question is on Camaros. Same type of question. How many Camaros were sold in 1967? A, 220,906. B, 243,085. Or C, 264,900. Camaros.
William says C. Gary's doing the ABC thing again.
Yeah, one answer there, Gary.
Paul's A. Jeff and Tootsie B. Missy A. Randy says, I fixed it.
Oh, yeah, that would
2
definitely
browsers
do
open.
it.
Oh, sure.
Echo Sol.
Yeah. Don't you know C, Gary C,
Okay, Gary.
TME C.
The other
got
Gary.
A and B. We'll give them in those minutes.
Yeah, we'll give Belt Loop a second time to put his one answer, not three.
Paul says Chevrolet made the Camaro good. Yanko made it great. Yanko.
Ah.
What were the options again? Gary says.
The options were A, 220,906, B, 243,085, or C, 264,900. No, you can't say all three.
Pick one.
That answer would void you out. B. Okay. You got the right answer. Good job. Next one is Chevelles. What was the Chevy Chevelle's main competitor in the mid 1960s? A, Mustang, B, Barracuda, or C, GTO? What was the Chevy Chevelle's main competition in the 60s? He says, I don't know, but I'll say B.
TME says A. Randy A. Missy A. Paul Barracuda. Gary A. Don't you know B. William C. GWTC. Okay, Gary, pick one.
John S. for
John S. for C.
We'll just go with his last answer. So the correct answer is C, the GTO. Good job for those that did say C. Next question is a Mustang question. What was the Mustang's fuel economy in 1965? A, 15 miles per gallon. B, 17 miles per gallon. Or C, 20 miles per gallon.
Randy says, I can join in now that I'm hearing the question asked once. LOL. Gary says, sorry, I'm at work and my attention is distracted. That's okay.
That's all right. Gary says B.
Yeah, Gary B. Paul D. William A. Don't you know C. T and me C. Missy Brock says B. GWTA. Randy C. Gary A.
So the correct answer on that is B, 17 miles per gallon. Another GTO question. What was the first year of production for the GTO? A, 1961, B, 1962, or C, 1963?
TME says depends on the engine, 6 or 8 cylinder.
First year of any production is what it's looking for.
64. Paul says Gary's got 2 answers, 64 and 66.
Yeah, none
Paul
of them
says
were the.
C, TME C, don't you know C. Dry Creek says good point, TME. William A, GWT says C.
Just checking to see.
You're looking it up. Gary says there was an option for the Pontiac Tempest for the first year, and that was 64. John Esper says C. So did you find the,
Well, from what I found here, it says that the Pontiac GTO was first manufactured in 1963.
so your paper thing is,
Yeah, I know. But it was first
Gary says it was an option package for Pontiac Tempest.
Yeah, but that's still considered a first manufacturer.
Missy says belt loop, that's what I thought too. Gary says it remained that way for the first 2 years. Paul says it's a year off.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for the
According to this, the first Pontiac GTO began production in September 3rd, 1963, but it was listed as a 1964 model.
Oh, that's kind of confusing.
Yeah, there's several manufacturers who have done that, but listed their vehicles as a half.
Yeah, I know they did that a lot.
Yeah.
Gary says it was a 64 vehicle. He also says, I promise you it was for a 64 vehicle.
Yeah, it was a 64 vehicle manufactured in the fall of 63, but for 64. So, you're right.
Dry Creek says, I think Gary is correct. It was an option for the Tempest. Paul says it's kind of like the Del Rey. It was a trim package and then it's on model.
Yeah. Yep.
William Smith says, so made in 63, sold in 64, the same as today.
Yeah, Paul's got it right too.
Missy says right. Maybe it was manufactured in 63, but not sold till 64.
Right, and Paul, a good example is the Mustang 64 and a half.
64 and a half, yeah. They've been making 23 since last year. Yeah, they do that. They make them before the year.
I know, trick question. Next question is a Camaro question. What was Camaro's nickname during its development? A, Panther, B, Panther 2, or C, Panther X? And I did see this in a magazine, on one of my hot rod magazines, as a matter of fact. So.
Gary says it was because John DeLorean. GWT, so it's D. Oh, from the last.
Yeah, I guess it would be
C.
C and D. C/D.
Okay, so Paul, or GWT. Oh, Paul says C. William Smith says B. T and me says, haha, Fred didn't write the questions. He is just a messenger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Would you have one of them AI things do it?
AI is stupid.
GWTA, Gary A, Missy Brock says, I never. C, I guess. Paul says, too bad no one has that imagination anymore. Yeah.
Gary has no idea. So the correct answer on that is B, Panther 2. And that I found in one of my hot rod magazines. So that was interesting. Next question is a Chevy Chevelle question. What was the top speed in 1964 of the Chevelle? A, 120 miles per hour, B, 140 miles per hour, or C, 150 miles per hour? And Gary does say Panther 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
We got A,
B,
C,
D,
B, A, C.
Eddie Lugo,
B,
welcome.
A, Jeff and Tootsie B. Eddie says C. Or B.
Or D. There is no D.
Oh, you've been hanging around Gary.
Oh, way too much, yeah.
Belt loop.
So the correct answer is B. 140 miles per hour was the top speed. If you look at any of their cars, the odometer, you would see that.
Paul says, I read that they downrated advertised horsepower on some due to insurance.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Oh, Gary says, what year?
Which year was that? The question? It was the, that one. It was the 64. Like D too.
GWT says, who was driving?
Gary.
Missy Brock says, no D, guys.
Yeah, no D. Next question. What was the Mustang's original design inspired by? A, European sports cars, B, American muscle cars, or C, Japanese compact cars? That's an easy question.
Gary says it was in my head.
Yeah, and then
I do drive a little fast. Uh-oh. You're going to be in the news soon, huh, Gary?
Yeah, I'm surprised all those drives he did that there weren't any cops coming up from behind.
Yeah.
Okay, we got A, we've got a couple of C's.
Corvette.
Got B, got A.
C, A.
So the correct answer on that is A, European sports cars. Why would they get inspired from Japanese compact cars back in the 60s? Have you looked at what Japanese compact cars look like in the 60s? I wouldn't even want to
Gary
do
says
that.
that you will never know my speed. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Eddie says, I am in another live. Be here soon, y'all.
Okay.
ABCD. Okay.
Time for another GTO question. What was the length of the 1964 GTO? A, 183 inches. B, 189 inches. Or C, 195 inches.
Missy says, I don't know. I wasn't alive then.
No, I can't.
Gary
I
says,
can't
about time. William says B. Paul B. Don't you know B? Missy says C. GWTB. Gary B.
So the correct answer, anyway, if they're all finished, of that.
Oh, hang on. Oh, Missy says she was
so
long.
Correct answer on that is B, 189 inches.
Paul says I wasn't either, but I love them old cars.
Yeah, me too. And we're going to be covering a car show this weekend. So we'll be back.
Gary
to
said
car
to
shows.
repeat the question.
How long was the 1964 GTO? Specifically the 64.
The wheelbase was 109 inches, more or less.
That's the wheelbase. That's not the length. Wheelbase is a little bit different.
That's something else, too.
Actually, it was more.
It was more?
According to this, the wheelbase of the 1964 GTO was 115 inches.
Missy says, wait, no, the song says My Little GTO.
You're right. Bonus.
Yeah.
Get a bonus for that one. Next question. And you'll notice they're similar to other ones. What was the Camaro Z28's original purpose? A, street racing. B, drag racing. Or C, Trans Am racing.
Paul says that's why they handled so well. And Gary says it was considered a mid-sized car then. GWT says, I need the girl from my cousin Benny. Paul says, Ronnie and the Daytonas. Busy said, me too, Paul. Eddie Lugo says, Porsche.
Porsche.
Don't you know B? William B. Paul C. Missy says B. Gary with his, he's
ABC.
learning his alphabet.
Yeah, I figured that.
GWT says C.
When Gary's working,
Dry Creek says C.
I notice when he's working, he puts every single answer out there.
Yeah.
Except Kathy Ireland. So the correct answer is C. They were using it to race Trans Ams. Good job, all who got C. I don't know why that was. I guess they were trying to compete against the Trans Am. I can't locate this page.
What happened?
It's stuck.
Oh.
Next
Luke
question.
says the only car that matters is the GTO, so you should focus on that car.
Yeah, and then you go with Kathy Ireland. So can't do both. What was the most powerful engine offered in the 1970 Chevelle? LS3, A, B, LS6, or C, LS7? Charles Bronson?
What?
That's a different one. Well, at least it's not Kathy Ireland.
Paul says 3 deuces at a 4-speed and a 389.
Little GTO.
Yeah.
Good one, Paul. I'm going to have to listen.
454. Gary says, well, if you focus on the GTOs, I will not say Kathy Ireland again. William says A, don't you know C, Gary B, Missy B, Jeff and Tootsie B, GWT B.
Tonight, anyhow. So the correct answer on that is B, the LS6. Next one is another Mustang question.
Did you do that one already?
No, I got a bunch of questions.
Oh, okay.
How many Mustangs were sold in 1965? A, 472,121. B, 559,451. Or C, 607,568.
Oh, Missy says, Nightbot, are you a real person or not?
Yeah.
Gary says, Nightbot is not a person.
That's right. Nightbot is a bot. That's
Paul says A. Gary says, who cares about a Mustang?
I do. I had a Mustang.
Hey, DP Mark.
Hey, DP, welcome.
Says, hi, Fred and Connie. And
Oh.
chat, I'm listening but working now.
Okay.
Gary says B, don't you know A? Missy, definitely C. GWT B. Dry Creek B.
Well, Missy is definitely right. It's C.
Good job.
They sold a lot of them. Back to GTO land.
Gary says wrong, Fred.
What do you mean wrong? This is not a GTO question. We're coming up to a GTO question.
Paul says 63 split window is the coolest. Missy says, well, Nightbot says to hit the thumbs up button, y'all.
Yeah.
Jeff and Tootsie says, hey, hey to DP Mart.
Yeah, I actually recently, last year, the car show, I saw a 63 split window Corvette. Oh, that was a nice one.
Gary
too.
says, thanks.
Back to GTO. GTO question. What was the GTO's main competitor in the late 60s and early 70s? A. Mustang, B. Chevelle, or C. Firebird?
Gary says it's GTO everybody came to talk about.
Just answer the question. Gary, GTO, Gary something something. Gary tonight only.
Paul D, TNBC, Missy Brock says Missy Brock care. I care about Mustangs.
Yeah, same here.
GWTB, Gary says there was never a competitor for GTO. A.
Yes, you could say.
Missy Brock says B, I reckon. Jeff and Tootsie says, I'm having to really multitask, LOL. On the phone with Dennis at the moment. He called me. Oh, okay, well.
Well, he can hop over here and then he can
Gary says, what
talk
were
with
the
you on the
options?
chat.
Repeat.
A. Mustang, B. Chevelle, or C. Firebird?
Yeah, Jeff and Tootsie, if you want to go ahead and talk to Dennis, that's fine. We'll still be here. Gary says it was never a competitor with its own vehicle.
No, it wouldn't be a competitor of itself. It's a competitor of Guru Wahoo the Turtle.
He said C.
He changed his thing. That's why I haven't seen him.
Hey, Kelly and Tammy.
Hey, hello.
Paul says spinning is for showing and traction is for going. Burning rubber out of a traffic light doesn't match track time.
True.
Gary says Firebird is a Pontiac vehicle.
Yeah.
Jeff and Tootsie says I'm still on here listening.
That's fine.
Gary says the other was a pony car.
Yeah, and
So that only
GTO's main competitor was
Chevelle.
No. The GTO's main competitor was the Mustang.
Guru and Wahoo says hello, Fred and all.
Hello, Guru.
How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well.
Alice, hey, welcome. Eddie's wife.
Uh-huh.
Gonna be seeing you guys in Helen in March.
Gary says it would never consider a Firebird a competitor. Oh, I would never.
You would never, but
Or it would never consider a Firebird a competitor.
like it's alive.
Eddie says vroom vroom.
Vroom, vroom. Couldn't be.
Gary says couldn't be. Mustang is a pony car, not the same category.
Well, then
I think all those people who own Mustangs think differently.
Yeah, they didn't think of this.
Not that we own any, but still.
If you try to compare a current day Mustang to a current day GTOs would not stand a chance against the current day Mustangs. Just saying. From the ones I've seen lately.
But we haven't seen, I mean, just seeing them, but not seeing them run, though.
Oh, there's some high-end.
It's kind of hard to. Dry Creek says, I thought the Mustang had too much weight to compete with Camaros and GTOs. Oh, I don't know. That's a good point. Gary says Mustang isn't much competition.
Moving on to the next question.
I mean, some of those other cars are really loaded. They were pretty loaded with power.
Yeah.
I mean, Dry Creek says, cars not alive. Did you not see Christine? LOL.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
seen that one.
Yes, very much so. Very red. And very, very...
Oh, that was something else.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay.
He says, Mr. Fred knows what's up.
Next question. Another GTO one. Which of the following was not an option for the 1964 GTO? A. Power windows. B. Air conditioning. Or C. Four-wheel drive. If Gary gets this wrong, he's going to have to, I don't know what he's
Paul
kind of,
says 58 Plymouth Fury. Gary says, just focus on the GTOs, Fred. Just focus on the GTOs.
This is a GTO question, Gary.
Missy says, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Paul says A, Team Me C. Guru says C, Missy C. Eddie A, Gary C. Alice says A. GWT says C.
So how many cars really had four-wheel drive back in 1964 anyway? Certainly not muscle cars. Four-wheel drive is definitely, yeah.
Four-wheel
exactly.
drive, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Four-wheel drive. Yeah, that was a kind of a sneaky question.
That was a sneaky one.
All right, another one for GTO since Gary is not saying that name.
Guru says the GTO stands for gas, tires, and oil, question mark.
Gary would know that answer. He should know that because that was on
Gary, is that what it
one.
stands for?
Yeah, Gary, what does GTO stand for?
Inquiring minds want to know.
I know what it stands for, but I'm not going to say because he knows
Low
that one.
ball Q. Gary says actually GTO stands for Gran Turismo.
Homologata. It's a weird name, but yeah, that's what it actually stands for. I knew he knew that one. Here's a one that's a little bit.
Also said that too.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of a more tougher one. You really have to know your GTO on this one. What was the GTO's nickname during its development? A. Panther, again. B. Panther 2, again. Or C. The Judge. Danny!
Hey, Danny.
Welcome. Are you live tonight, Danny? I didn't know if you were.
Missy says true for Paul.
Gaming with Steven. Hey, welcome.
Gary says tiger. Oh, because TME said goat up there.
Oh.
Paul says C. Don't you know C? Gaming with Steven C. Eddie C. Alice C. Missy Brock. POS. Guru says Panther 2. GWTC.
Oh, okay.
Missy C. The Judge.
Yeah, but they actually.
Danny says I'm taking the week off.
Yeah, but they actually had the nickname of the Judge, even though they didn't come out with the Judge model until 1969. But that's what they nicknamed it. And I actually have seen one, maybe two, the Judge versions out there. 2 new channels.
Gary says, good question, but Judge started in 69. Missy said, see the Judge for sure. Danny said, okay. He started one for trivia and one for sport.
We can't keep up with one channel. How are we supposed to keep up with
Gary says, the first Judge model was introduced in 69.
Yeah.
Danny says, this one will be all for travel. Okay. That's a good idea.
Next question will probably be the last GTO question for the night.
Gary says they were produced a few years, not many.
No, they're very rare. And to find a pristine one is even rarer.
Danny says this one was too hodgepodge.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
Missy says, I'm questioning my entire existence.
So the last question for the GTOs. What was the GTO's base price when it first came out?
No, dadgummit.
I'd have to look up more questions. I can't. So what was the GTO's base price when it first came out? $2,466 for A, $2,821 for B, or $3,456. Hey, James Cantonese, welcome. For C.
Gary says $3,500 more or less. Eddie says $2.
$2?
Paul says B. Don't you know C? James says 2,000. T and me says $620.37. That sounds like a good answer there. Gaming with Steven, 3,460. Missy says A.
So the correct answer is C, $3,456.
Ah.
So since I don't have another question for GTO, but I'm going to give you one. What was the amount paid at auction for a 1970 GTO Judge Ram Air 4 convertible? A, $250,000. B, $440,000. C, $600,000. Or D, $1 million.
Danny says, I don't know cars. I'm a minivan driving soccer.
You're a soccer mom? Oh, my.
Gary says, I'm done since there are no more GTO questions. I'm doing this in protest.
I just gave one there, Gary.
Alice says to Clock Family Adventures, I just packed my suitcase tonight. Eddie still needs to pack, and I need to add my toiletries, so I'm ready for this cruise.
Ah.
Oh, wow. That sounds like
so
fun.
They're doing a cruise, and then we'll see them in March.
Paul says A, Gary B, don't you know C, T and me C, James says B, Gaming with Stephen D, GWT D, Alice says A, Missy Brock D, Missy says D, she's a rare one. Gary says, I know, so I kept typing.
So the correct answer is B, $440,000. So it says, while the 1970 Judge Ram Air 4 isn't quite as rare as the 69 version, a production number of 17 still makes it a dream car for the Pontiac faithful. So it is still a very rare one at that. Let's see if there's another GTO that I can look up, see if Gary would know. Of course, he may not know. There we go.
Carrie says, I said that. Interesting, even though I don't know I'm right. Cool.
Yeah, so the one who said earlier what GTO stood for, when they said gas, tires, and oil, that is the most common street name that people say.
Oh.
For it, even though we already know it's Gran Turismo. Somebody said goat. Over the years, people did call it the goat.
Oh, that's interesting. I know T and me was saying goat.
And the tiger.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Those are good. Those are all good answers.
They're great ones.
Great answers, right?
And one that I didn't see, the Humbler.
Oh, wow.
What is unique as far as the GTO in the front of the GTOs? What is one thing that was unique to them that you didn't normally see for 60s vehicles, Gary?
What do you mean by unique? Just from other cars?
Yes.
Or
It had one unique feature, and it's because of the bumper that they
Gary
used.
says it is the first muscle car. Don't you know says I called it an aviation at the start of the show.
Well, Enduro bumper.
Paul says 4 headlights.
Yeah, but what was unique about the headlights?
It bounced back. Split grill. Bumper. Make it car of the year in 68. Dry Creek says bumper.
So the actual thing, it's tied to that bumper, and this unique feature only lasted 2 years. They had hidden headlamps.
Ah, yeah, Paul says hideaways.
Yep, hideaways. That's what they called them.
Ah, good one.
So what was the highest horsepower of a GTO?
Yeah, Missy, headlights opened and closed. And Gary says they raised up and closed, but that wasn't the only vehicle that did that. The Cougar did it as well.
Yeah, Cougar actually did it second.
Dry Creek says they opened and closed.
So what was the highest horsepower of the GTO?
Snugster says Ford. Gary says 350 more or less.
Everything's more or less with him.
James says 283. Paul says Buick Riviera had them as well. Don't you know says, no, I called it a goat at the beginning of the show. I do know where my fingers were when aviation showed up.
Yeah, you were right on the goat.
Yes. Missy says, thanks, I haven't heard that particular word, hideaways.
Yeah.
Paul says 375. Gary says hidden headlamps were first introduced in 1936.
But not in GTOs.
375 sounds right.
Well, actually, 400 horsepower because you obviously didn't.
Well, Missy says 400.
Yeah, I know, but Missy's right because Gary said 375 sounds right. Wild Donkey Trivia.
This is the trivia channel.
Oh, that's an interesting name.
Ah, yeah. Wild Donkey Trivia.
Wild Donkey.
Oh, okay.
So 400 horsepower is correct. And you should have known that one because of the one question with the highest price paid for the 400 horsepower Judge. So what was the worst selling year for the GTO? Yes, Gary, they did have a worse selling.
Dry Creek says, Rob says the first car to have hidden headlights was a Ford. They popped up. Missy says I was definitely not certain on that.
Oh, it's okay.
Says that I was on Top Chat. Sorry guys if I missed some people here.
Oh, welcome, Bam No Adventures. Thank you.
Gary says the closest to HP to cubic inches was the 395 HP and a 396 Hemi. Depends on the year as well.
Well, Gary.
Probably 1974.
Or 64.
1889.
1889? Damn. I don't think GTOs were around.
64, 76, 69, 76, 63.
Actually, the worst year was 1973.
68.
In 73, they only sold 4,806 models.
He was
He was close, except 74, they sold more.
Oh.
They actually had a comeback.
GWT, I know I'm correct, 63.
So what year was their best selling? Yeah, you are off the year.
Oh, I missed this. Danny says I was going to call it another name for donkey, but thought better of it.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been the one that been. They may have not even allowed that kind of one. But hey, Jossie, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
So it went from multiple different types of muscle cars to GTO topics. So
Team Me said 1970.
Gary said it's probably 68.
Car of the Year. James in 1963. Missy Brock says none in 63. Right.
Yeah, really.
65, it was still an option.
So the year that GTOs had their most selling, I still see answers.
63, 64.
Was 1966. They sold 96,946.
Gary says, oh wait, Danny says we still drive horse and buggy here in Oklahoma. And Gary says the Motor Trend Car of the Year in 68, I believe.
Here's an interesting one. There was a car, a GTO, called the SD 455 GTO.
Gary says, too bad I didn't care for the Coke bottle fenders they started then. Loved the straight lines of the 65s.
So in 1973, Pontiac came out with the SD 455 GTO. What was different about it? This is weird.
Josh and Stacey, I change into my superhero outfit.
Well, welcome as well, Joshy and Stacey. So what was unique about the Pontiac SD 455 GTO in 1973? This one they'll never.
455 rocket.
This one they'll never guess.
Supercharged motor mounts, I think is what James was trying to say.
Yeah.
Fuel injection.
Well, the really unusual part about it is it's the Pontiac that they never built.
Gary says my interest kind of dwindles as it passes to 71, really.
Well, that one they never built because it was only, the SD 455 was only put into the Trans Am and Formula in 73. So it didn't even have that.
GWT says it was faster than the Mustang.
Next one, let's see.
Said, what? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. So who came up, somebody actually mentioned this, who came up with the GTO?
Gary says, makes sense in 70. They started all those fuel mileage requirements by the government.
Yeah. So who came up with the GTO?
Focus became more about fuel mileage than
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, that's when they went off
Yeah.
of it. So who came up with the GTO? And what was in it? Yep, there we go. John DeLorean. And
Shelby dude.
hey, Darian, welcome. What inspired the GTO name? So what did John DeLorean get his inspiration
James
from?
said I did. Gary says he did it because GM had an edict saying he couldn't put a big motor in a big or a mid-sized vehicle.
So what vehicle did he get the inspiration from? Okay, Darian.
Darian, yes, yeah, he says on the way home listening on in stereo.
So we're in stereo. Nice. Yeah, what Italian vehicle?
Italian vehicle.
So what Italian vehicle? Yeah.
Ferrari, I think. GTO.
Yep, it's the Ferrari GTO.
T and me said Ferrari as well.
Yep.
The Firebird. Missy Brock said Cooper. Gary says they did a comparison that really never happened.
So in 1964.
For Motor Trend, I think Gary said.
Yeah, I think it was Motor Trend. So in 1964, they were basically limiting the number of GTOs built. How many did they limit it to? Just kidding.
Gary says, nope, not Firebird.
So how many did they limit it's at the insistence of a sales manager, how many GTOs did they limit the number built for the 64 launch?
Gary says they invited Ferrari to show up for a comparison, but Ferrari didn't show up. Oh, Gary says, what was the question? He was busy typing.
How many GTOs for the first year was initially built?
Paul says 100K. T and me says 2, only the population of Pittsville.
So the correct answer, I was waiting to see if there was any more. So the correct answer on that was 5,000. The sales manager insisted that they shouldn't do more than 5,000 because they thought it wouldn't sell.
Gary says seems like it was a low number, like 10,000 or something.
Yeah, 5,000. But
initially, anyhow.
Yeah, initially, but then they decided to continue building more, and they ended up selling 36,000 of them for the
Missy
first
says,
year.
well, not many, as the Mustang was coming baby. Gary says they felt it was too big a competitor for the Corvette.
let me do something here.
TME says, love to make Fred laugh. It is contagious. Well, here's a question for everybody. Well, I know Gary likes his GTOs, so I already know that. But what one car, if money was not the object, would you have? Would you buy? That's a classic.
Yeah.
Gary said GM didn't want the competition from one of its smaller branches. Gary says, but John DeLorean found a way around it.
Yeah, he did.
Gary says, finally the outcry from the public demanded more production. Paul says 63 split window. That's what he likes.
Yeah. Had that on one of the car shows. I hope to see another one.
Missy says 69 Camaro SS, but I'm a Ford girl. TME says 56 Chevy, turquoise and white. Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Darian says, my 1972 Chevrolet pickup truck back. Oh, you had one and you would like it back. Gary says 63 split window was pretty.
So, here's...
Gary says, but I like the 68 and 69 Corvettes.
So, back in 2005, Car and Driver did a comparison with a race between a 2005 Pontiac GTO versus a 2005 Ford Mustang GT. Who came in first and who came in second?
Gary says, sorry, the 58 and 59 Corvettes, that is. Paul says, I know the 57 Chevy is the main girl, but that 55 is a looker too.
Yes, I agree.
Gary says 2005 cars are crap.
Despite that, who came in first? Who came in second?
TME says Mustang first. Gary says probably Ford because they cheat.
And
Ford, that is. GTO first, says Paul.
Well, actually, as they put it, the GTO finished second. It's a goat after all, and that's what goats do. That is right from Car and Driver magazine.
Really?
Yes, the Mustang was first, and the goat came in second because that's what goats do.
Gary says, I like the 55, 57s, but hate the 56 Chevy Bel Airs. Missy says, definitely not Ford because we would never cheat.
No.
I don't know. I don't know my cars, but what's different from the 56 or Chevy Bel Air than the 55, 57? Gary says, Car and Driver has been trashed for a great deal of years.
Yeah. But that was 2005, so I think if I would have a choice of vehicles, it would either be a 68 Mustang convertible, or from one of our recent videos, the GTO, the Unicorn, with the rare paint job.
Paul says, sorry, but the newer GTO and Impalas were blasphemy.
Yeah.
Gary says the lines are different. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Paul says the chrome. Gary says 55 goes straight back and 57 has a split, but the 56 is just curved and not a good looking one either. Oh, I'll have to pay more attention when we go.
Yeah, we're going to be going.
Because I know they got lots of Bel Airs always.
Oh my gosh.
Always.
Yeah, we're going to be. Our first car show comes up this Saturday, so I'll have to do focus on some of those. If we see a bunch of Chevys, I'll have to try to get those and spend time on each one.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. We always see a lot of Bel Airs at these car shows.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
I just can't remember which years. Jeff and Tootsie says the hybrid vet this year is something else.
Yeah, I'm not sure with the hybrid vets.
Paul says the chrome on 56 is off.
That's interesting.
T and me says if everyone liked the same, they'd all be after Teresa.
Oh my.
Gary says look at a 57 and it has that beautiful flare to it. 55 has a straight line and it looks awesome, but the 56 just curves downward, looks ugly. Oh wow.
I have to look back.
He says the new vet looks interesting.
So I guess that's, let's see, hybrid vets?
Yeah, what's the price tag on that new vet?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Jeff and Tootsie says, yes, the new vet looks wild.
Oh, the E-Ray. That's what they call it. Doesn't look any different from the other vets.
Yeah, but what does the back look like? PV on the go says, hello, sorry, watch my friend get a victory royal in Fortnite. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Thanks for coming in.
So.
Gary says, I can't afford it. Neither can we.
That's the back of the E-Ray.
Oh, okay.
So if you can see that, oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, because it's white. Let's see if I can find a different.
I don't know. I was behind a vet yesterday, and I don't know if it was one of those or not. Jeff and Tootsie says it's a little different. Gary says, I can look, but can't touch. Yeah, it probably costs a lot of money to touch, for sure.
Yeah, but think about, holy mackerel. Pricing starts for the hardtop at $104,295 or $111,295 for the convertible. That is nuts.
Gary says it's kind of like I see no point in going to a strip joint. No sense in looking if you can't touch. Yeah. That's right. Don't go to the car lot to look at them, right? When you know you can't have it.
I never ever had an intention of ever. I've only sat in one car in my life that I never could afford, and I was younger.
TV on the go says, I don't know much about cars, but here we go.
Car emoji. I haven't sat in one high-priced car in my lifetime. It was somebody I knew, and it was cramped.
Those car auctions ruined older car prices. I saw a 64 Impala the other day and had to get a tetanus shot, and the guy wanted $65K for it.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff and Tootsie says, yep, 6 figures. Gary says, we've been having fun. TV on the go.
Gee.
Yeah, well, that's crazy stuff. GWT says that's after you pay to get on the list.
Oh my, you gotta pay to get on the list? Oh my gosh.
TV on the go says everyone get the checkbook out. Yeah, everybody get your checkbook out, but there'll be some bouncing going on.
Yeah, if you're gonna get your checkbook out, you might as well take out a second mortgage for that.
Those checks will be bouncing for sure.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
That reminds me. Let me look something here.
Yeah, you get on the list. Well, I wonder how much you got to pay to get on the list, and then also how long does it take for you to get your merchandise?
Well, it's probably for the 2024, which means you got to wait a year. That way they.
Gary says, "I think I will keep my truck." Good idea. I think we're gonna keep what we got here too.
Eventually.
Lease is paid off. Yeah, hallelujah, right? Missy says, like, exactly. Hey, quiet listener. Good evening to
Hey,
you.
welcome. So since we talked about most expensive GTOs, let's talk about Mustangs for a minute. So the most expensive Mustang ever was the one driven by Steve McQueen for the 1968 movie Bullitt.
Mm.
$3.4 million. That's the most expensive. Next was the 1967 Shelby GT500 Super Snake at $1.3 million.
Paul says, I got a question. Is there anything new that trips your trigger like the older stuff? Even stuff I don't particularly like from 50s and 60s had style.
Trips your trigger like you.
Missy Brock says Eleanor.
Yeah. Some of the styles of the newer Mustangs are starting to look like the older ones, which is good. Yeah, Eleanor, as a matter of fact, recently sold for $1 million. A 1967 Mustang GT500.
Yeah, that's
Eleanor.
what Missy said, Shelby GT500. PB on the Go said, I had one of those ones.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Jeff and Tootsie says, Barrett Jackson is on this week.
Oh. Where? What channel? I like those ones. They get some interesting vehicles. The next one is a 65 Shelby Mustang GT350R. $900,000.
Gary says, I'll take advantage of the lull in conversation to hit the restroom.
Yeah, there you go.
Should be back before the conversation changes from Ford. Oh, Missy Brock says, yes, oh my lord.
Next is a 1965 Shelby Mustang GT350R for $984,500. Why is that one more than the previous one? It's because it was a race car.
PB on the Go says, no, just kidding. She says, my checkbook isn't that fat. Us either.
Yeah.
Jeff and Tootsie says, Friday Channel this weekend on History Channel.
History Channel, okay.
T and Me says, I'll sell my 2016 Ram to the highest bidder. It needs new tires and bumper. What did you do with your bumper, Tommy?
Where'd you leave it?
Yeah, where'd you leave it?
Was that last time you went to see Vacation Station Jeff? Did Rosie take it?
I know you tied rope to your bumper and tried to get the hugest, largest Christmas tree ever, right, Tommy?
Or he was trying to pull a tooth, and Teresa was driving, and she floored it, and instead of pulling the tooth out, it pulled the bumper.
Missy says, I thought, Lord, someone is rich, AF. Jeff and Tushy
Oh.
says, FYI channel, mistype.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, I didn't know fry channel. That just sounds like something for French fries.
FYI channel.
Okay, maybe I can find that one. Let's see here.
Gary says, I'll bid $5. T and me says, backed into the corner of garage, then backed into a tree.
Oh!
Oh, man,
Oh.
that hurt. Ouch.
Oh! Well, since we're talking about expensive cars, here's a list of some of the most expensive cars, period. One is the Rolls-Royce Boat Tail, and it's the most ugliest Rolls-Royce I've ever seen. $28 million. Why would you spend $28 million
I guess it's because it's unique.
on a vehicle that looks like, I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
that.
it's too bright.
That. It's ugly. The next one is actually better. It's a Bugatti La Voiture Noire, $18.7 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's 1,500 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds.
Paul says that's
Oh, yes. I would love to see one of those. Stutz Bearcat. That would be a nice one to see.
I'm not into those POSs.
Next one,
Yeah.
Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta, $17.6 million. Never seen.
I don't know, unless you're planning on winning the lottery. I don't know.
Here's a really weird name one. The SP Automotive Chaos, $14.4 million.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's a weird one. Rolls-Royce Sweptail. Look at that thing. $13 million.
That reminds me on the back of how that Capri looked when you had
Oh,
you
yeah.
had that one way back.
Bugatti Senta Dieci, $9 million.
Gary says, go price a Ferrari GTO. Do you have the price, Gary?
Do you have one, Gary? Are you that?
Gonna settle for his pickup truck.
Yeah. Let's see.
TV on the go says, I want a Ferrari.
I've seen Ferraris. I never sat in one, but I've seen them. Now I'm going to look at the most expensive Ferrari GTO.
Yeah, that'll get you somewhere fast for sure. Gary says the 63 sold for $70 million.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
1963 GTO.
Missy Brock says, I've got to know, Miss Connie, what's your favorite car? You're so cute. Oh, thanks. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite car is. I see so many of them when we go to those car shows.
Yeah, the Mustang.
I don't know, those Chevelles, or not the Chevelles. What looks like that?
What, the Chevelle SS's?
Maybe. I don't know. Those kind of look good, but I don't know. I never really thought about it. But there's so many of them out there.
Yeah.
So many different ones.
So that $70 million Ferrari GTO, Ferrari 250 GTO, it's in pristine condition. It's a race car, and it's owned by the CEO of WeatherTech.
Imagine that. GWT says, I want to have that kind of pocket change to buy a car.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. T&Me says car and truck prices are insane. Ford dealers adding $10,000 to MSRP.
Yeah, it's out of hand.
Gary says $142 million. The world's most expensive car just sold for an all-time record. The sale price places the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Ulanaut in the top 10 most valuable items ever sold. 142 million. That's crazy. Missy says, I can dig a Chevelle. I was just curious. Gary says, don't doubt that. T&Me.
Oh yeah, I see it. Hundreds. And there's nothing really special about it. That one. 178.
I wonder what makes it so much. I mean, what is it? Because there's not that many made, or just someone particularly owned it, and that's why the price tag is so high.
It's a 1955 Mercedes SLR 300.
Did it say they only made like one or two or something? Is that why it's so much?
I don't know. Let me look that up. I can't say, hey Google, like.
PB on the Go says, yes, car prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Paul says there is actually a Studebaker that I kind of like, Golden Hawk. Question mark.
I think I've seen one of those. There we go. Yeah, that price actually, that 178 million is in US dollars. It was sold in Europe, so it's 135 million euros, which is nuts.
T&Me says my next car will be a skateboard at this rate. PB on the Go says wait till we go electric.
No.
Gary says I expect a Tucker would be pretty expensive as well. Yeah, I know. They want us all to go electric. Can you imagine having all of them, that crazy charging thing in your garage and having to charge it up overnight? And
so the interesting thing with that car, there's two of them.
Gary says I expect a Tucker would be pretty expensive as well. PB on the Go says I love the old Bentley.
So that car that sold for 178 million US,
yeah,
there's two of them.
Oh, there's two of them.
The second one is in the Mercedes Museum in Stuttgart, Germany.
T&Me says, anybody know where I can buy a Yugo? I haven't seen one of those in a long, long time.
The question is, where are you going to get the parts for it?
Jerry says, LOL. I saw one years ago, really, really cheaply made.
I think the last time I saw one of those on the road, you can tell I must have had needed some repairs because it had duct tape all over it. Probably because they couldn't get parts.
They may have gotten the parts from the junkyard and they just taped it all together.
Oh,
Missy says, I want to see Miss Connie in the sweet rat rod. That would be so cool. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have seen some really nice rat rods, too. Like that one with the skeleton with the machine gun in the back.
Oh, yeah, the skeleton with the thing in the back.
Yeah.
TV on the Go says maybe it's cheaper to buy a plane. It might be.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Those rat rods are pretty neat.
There you go, Gary. A Tucker 48.
Hey, Patricia G. How you doing?
Hey, and hey, Daniel.
Daniel Jose.
Here you go, Gary.
Paul says, who made the car with the boat propeller on back?
Oh my, that's a historical one. For Gary, he can get a Tucker 48 for only $3 million.
Missy says, I love me some rat rods.
Yeah, we occasionally do see some interesting rat rods.
GWT says, who cares? Just Flintstones. The you go. Yeah.
And a hill.
Yeah. Gary says, nice.
Helicron. The car, here you go, Paul. It's called the Helicron propeller car from 1932.
Oh my.
It actually looks like a plane, but it's got a big propeller on it. It is weird.
Well, I don't know what this was that one time, coming out of a DQ parking lot, this guy was driving a car, but it looked like a boat. An actual boat.
I've seen that.
I mean, I don't know what the whole deal is with that. Gary says, what is the average sale price of an Amphicar? The average price of an Amphicar is $76,628.
Is that from you or is that from Google?
The Amphicar is amphibious, yeah.
Saw one of those recently. In fact, the color even is the same. That was at that one at the Georgia Racing Museum car show.
Oh.
I remember it, that green one. That's exactly how it looked.
Oh, yeah. Gary says from Google.
Ah, that figures. Well, we're going to have to end it here. So, we've been on for, I don't know how long. We've been on a while.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. So, it's been fun. Thank you all for coming. We're going to be having a car show video probably sometime next week, so we'll have to watch for those. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. And
it's been fun.
No, Gary.
With everybody coming in tonight.
No, can't do 5 more minutes. I got to work in the morning. I got a busy day tomorrow, so.
Yeah, thanks everybody for stopping in and playing and chatting, and it's been fun.
We'll catch you on our next live, which will be next.
Terry keeps saying 5, 10, 15 more minutes. Paul says, I thought about suing Sonic for false advertising. Their commercials show vintage cars and car hops. I always park by a 60 or 86 station wagon, and my car hop always has acne.
Oh!
Good night to you, Jeff and Tootsie. Missy says at Belt Loop, yes, amphibian. I'm making chili and chit-chatting at the same time. Oh, wow. Chili sounds great.
I don't want to see a GTO station wagon.
Thanks, TME. You guys are the best, too.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. So
3 GTO wagons.
We'll catch you all on our next live
everybody.
next week. Thank you all for coming. Good night.
Good night.